welcome back to MTFC TV. Joint with this time is joint assistant manager Chris Rawlinson. Chris, training's finished about half an hour ago. How did it go on tonight?
Yeah, they did well as you'd expect. The boys are full of confidence, full of banter between themselves. It's amazing what a couple of good results does for the group as a whole.
We've had to swap things up a bit. We've seen obviously Taryn Hare, who's out for something like 6 weeks, I believe, something collarbone related, which, given how well he was doing, would have been such a big blow. But then you've had someone like Lee Beavers come in, who a lot would have looked at and thought, well, he's not got the pace that a Taryn Hare does. But he's made that position his own against Marine. You've got a lot of players who are able to adapt. Is that something, when they're brought in, that you look at?
Yeah, well, it's something you have to do when you've got a relatively small squad, or a lot of injuries within the squad that we've done. The players that we've brought in are adaptable and can play in various different positions, and you have to rely on that. Lee, probably played most of his career as a fullback, so what he maybe lacks over the long distances in pace, he makes up for in his experience and knowledge, without a shadow of a doubt.
Some fans questioned at the time, we're going 4 or 5 games back, where Matlock goals were going to come from, and then out of nowhere we've seen this explosion of the partnership of Craig Westcar and Marcus Marshall. Is that something that was the plan from the get-go, that you knew you could get out of these two lads?
It'd be easy to say yes. No, sometimes it's a case of getting to know the players, working in the squad for the Gaffer and Terry and myself, to try and work out what we think we can get the best out of them within our style of play. And fair play to the both of them, they've done brilliantly, and I think you have to say 9 goals in 4 games between them. They are the informed strike partnership in the league at the minute.
I think they're both currently top joint goal scorers for club with 5 each.
Yeah.
Something which, I'll say it myself, and I'm sure all the fans will agree. Marcus, 3 or 4 games in, I would have never expected that from him. Yet, I don't know whether it's something you guys said to him or whether it's just merely position change. It's like he's a different player, his movement and everything. Is that something that he's always had, or is that something that you've all been keen to work with him on?
Well, we knew of him. We've never worked with him before. What he did before in previous managements is not for us to comment on. All we know is we feel that, or we could see something in him, or the gaffer could, that we get the best out of him, probably in a more forward and attacking role, where he can use his pace and his obviously ability on the ball to beat a man in the right areas, and it's worked, the pair of them in Craig's a wonderful focal point. He does a lot of hard work, back to goal work, takes a lot of pressure away from, lets Marcus play on the back shoulder. So as a front pairing, they're pretty well suited and obviously doing great for us at the minute.
Let's talk briefly about Saturday's game. Huge run up, travelling up to Warrington Town, who have an incredible home record. Mm-hmm. Is that something, speaking to the players as I've done tonight, they don't appear to fear it? Is it just, we're up there and we're going to go give them a proper game now?
Yeah, exactly. That's all we can do. We have to go and get every game in this league thinking we can win it. Yeah, obviously we have to show respect to opponents, especially ones at the top of the league with such a good record as they've got. But we have to go and get every game thinking we can win them and impose our strengths on any opponent. Obviously with respect and a thought for what they will obviously do and how good they are, but yeah, no reason we go there with our heads held high and a chest puffed out to go and try and win the game.
You've spent a few weeks at the club. I think we're almost up to a month or just over a month.
Yeah.
Now, you came, after leaving Spalding, you came quite quickly, joining up with Frex and Tell. How do you feel your first month here has gone?
I think personally our first one's gone well. The squad's been overhauled. We got off to a bad start, 3 defeats in a row. But in each game we saw an improvement. We saw a development of what we needed to do. And we had faith and managed to get the players in that the gaffer wanted. And yeah, I think reasonably happy with the first month. Of course it could have been better. Could have won every game, so everything could always be better. But we're reasonably happy with how it's gone. And I think we've given ourselves a really good base for the rest of the season where we can start to look up the table rather than down.
I think if I'd spoke to a lot of Matlock fans after the South Shields game and I said, look, up against teams in and around us in North Ferriby United, Hyde United and Marine AFC, we'd come out of those games with 7 points out of a possible 9. I think most would have scoffed at me at the time, but we've now seen a real change in the belief system, I think, in the squad. Is that something you believed when you guys came in? You looked at those fixtures and said, yes, I believe we can get something out of them?
To be honest with you, we were hoping to get something from Stadium, from South Shields really, but our first week of working with someone, we hoped to be changing things around from Stadium. It took a couple of games longer than we thought, albeit in Farsley I think we were competitive, to be fair. So we always knew that those 3 games were in and around us were a great opportunity. And fair play to the boys, 7 points out of 9, can't be scoffed at in any time of the season.
Do you feel, going back to the back line, that we're beginning to get now what you'd consider Matlock's best, well, back 5 including Ross Durant, what we've got currently, your sort of back 4 you'd want out at the minute?
No, I don't think so. I think to say that would be wrong on the players that have been injured, the players that have missed a couple of games, the players that are now out injured. I think in a squad, we have a way a back 4 plays, and any 4 players can play in that back 4, which shouldn't weaken us.
We've got a few lads missing long term, in particular Sean Harrod, who I believe might be fibula, could possibly be fibula, that he's broken in his left leg. He's out long term. You've got Michael Williams, who I believe is a few weeks away. Are these lads now itching to get back? Are they, say, focused, or are you saying, look, lads, take as much time as you need, don't rush back from injury?
Well, we have to be careful. Both Willow and Chappie have come back from injury and got injured again. So when it's muscular, you have to be careful of a reaction. So yeah, of course we need them to be right. There's no point in coming back and not being at 100%. But they're all itching to get back. With Sean, with there being it's only a fracture, so it shouldn't be too long. Yeah, I think Sean's itching to get back on the pitch.
You don't really see many joint assistant manager partnerships in the game, yet it seems to work here. Getting to know you and Terry the way I have done, you're both very different people in how you approach the game, and you're very different personalities. What has helped that click? Is that something that you've previously worked with, or do you just know each other's strengths and weaknesses?
No, I think what happened was I've been with Dave for a long time. Terry came and joined us at Spalding when we were exceptional, and the 3 of us just hit it off. We've got very different views. We like to play the same, but we have different opinions, which is what the gaffer obviously needs. He doesn't want just yes men around there. And yeah, we have totally different styles. Terry's a wonderful coach. He does all his work with the players on the training ground, whereas I'm more of a sort of tactician, if you like, and an organiser. So that's kind of, we both bring those qualities to let Dave just get on with managing the football club.
It really does seem to help having strengths in all departments, having people who could come in and have a say. Is that something, as a collective, you've seen players say, yes, I've worked with you previously, I want to come to Matlock and work with you again, or is that something that hasn't figured for players in their minds? No,
I think every player that's been brought in is somebody that has either worked with me or Dave and Terry before. So no, I think the draw of working with us or working with those 2 from their games with Dave is a big draw. They know we get a good feeling around the place. People enjoy coming to work, and the results follow on the pitch.
I should point out, by the way, when Chris is pointing that way, Terry and Gaffer are over there. He's not having a mental moment, so don't worry about that. To finish things off, do you have a message for fans who perhaps have stayed away due to previous results, but ears have pricked up again, seeing lads getting points on the ball? Would you say, come back, fresh start, lads are really pulling it right direction now?
Yeah, look, the message is Matlock's a wonderful and a big football club, and the more support we get, the bigger we'll be. We've got 2 big home games coming up. After we've got Warrington, Micklehove away out the way, although away support will be much appreciated. But Hednesford, our home, Grantham home, come and see what we're all about. Because by then hopefully we really are starting to look up the table, and really anything's possible.
I'd be amiss as well slightly if I didn't mention Micklehove Sports. I know we've got to focus on Warrington first, but Matlock and Micklehove Sports, particularly the away game, I've quite an interesting history. I believe in all my time working alongside the club and going to games at Micklehove that have involved Matlock, it's very rare Matlock get out of those anything. Is that something that you've been aware of, or is it something clean slate?
It's something I read about for the first time today, but of course what's gone on in the past, gone on in the past. You know, our record at Matlock is at Mickleover as Matlock managers is we haven't played there yet, so we'll judge it after next Tuesday.
Do the trio of you have the side already in your minds come Saturday?
We believe so, but there's obviously one or two people. We do take into account how people train, and there's one or two decisions to be made. But you know, 7 points in 9 games, you know, it would be daft to say it'd be vastly different. But of course, there are always options we've got to suit the games that we're playing and the particular opponents.
Right. Thank you very much, Chris Rawlinson.
No problem. Thank you.